Welcome to the High Rankings podcast, brought to you by Dispensary-Growth, the preeminent SEO agency for dispensaries. Each episode will dive into the world of search engine optimization for cannabis dispensaries. We'll discuss the latest strategies and tactics to help your dispensary rank higher on search engines and attract more patients and customers. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, join us as we explore how to maximize your online presence and stay ahead of the competition in the rapidly growing cannabis industry.
Hello, welcome back. Episode 73 of the High Rankings podcast with me, your favorite host / co-host / carrier of this podcast, of myself, and also Charlie, the other guy who sometimes has something useful.
They listen for me.
I don't think so. Voice is like nails on a chalkboard, just
Whatever, Kev.
Oh, I had a really good vexing me this week and I have forgotten what it is already. But anyway, moving on. How was your week? What did you do? What did you get up to?
It was awesome. So my girlfriend's dad was in town. I came in on Thursday night, took him to a nice restaurant. There's a cool restaurant in the Cherry Creek area, that's really close to me, Cherry Creek. I think I've taken you there.
Is that where we were when it was snowing, like real crazy snowing one night? We
Probably, yeah.
Something and it was snowing.
It's close to the old office. So yeah, it's like less than 10 minutes away from the old office.
Yeah. Is it like super nice?
Yeah.
Pretty sure
We went to a nice restaurant in that area. He loved it. You could tell, like, he's on East Coast time, right? We're having dinner at 7:00, so he's kind of winding down. There's good wine, and so you could tell he was kind of winding down a little bit. But yeah, it was good to see him. He's cool dude.
I hear he's a fan of mine.
No, just wait until he meets you. Then no. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
But I've realized between your girlfriend and her dad, and I think her mom also, I can't remember now, like they're all very excited to meet me. And it can only be because of one reason. No. It can only be for one reason, because you've said such nice things about me that they're like, oh, she sounds really nice. I can't wait to meet her. Because there can be no other explanation, which means you're full of shit when you say how horrible I am. Because these people that have never met me, that have only ever talked to you, are excited to meet me.
I think you're just being nice. That's what I think it is.
I mean, the logic is not logical on your... But anyway, so...
So we had a nice dinner. And then the following night, so the Friday night, we went to the baseball game. Mm-hmm. He's a big O's fan.
Oh.
Well, big baseball fan in general. So we went to the baseball game. We had pretty good seats with a friend of hers from college and his wife. We all went out. That was pretty fun. This guy, fuck man, he's still I can't drink like that anymore. It's like, I'll just call him Bob. I'm like, Bob, I love hanging out with you and everything. You're a super cool dude, but I don't remember half the nights when we hang out. Like, I can't drink like that. Wake up just hating myself.
Yeah.
So
I don't drink like that at all, ever.
I can't. Like, oh boy. Anyways.
Do you get hangovers or no?
Saturday. What's that?
Do you get hangovers or no?
Oh yeah. I feel like absolute dog shit the next morning. It's terrible.
Then it's like a day, isn't it? Because you're like...
Yeah, it's whole ways a day, part of it like a longer weekend, and then I just want to eat everything like a disgusting farm animal. I want like KFC for breakfast, and yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah. So I wasn't like hungover the next day. It was kind of like a little cloudy,
Yeah.
We met up again the next night. Went to the baseball game again. That time we had really good seats. We're up pretty close. Baseball games, like, it's never been my thing.
Oh, I love baseball. Love baseball.
Really?
Yeah, I would consider myself a Red Sox fan, and for a long time, like many years, I would go to a lot of the games down here when they were in town. If they were on the TV, I'd watch them. Like, big Sox fan, big Sox fan, before they won the World Series in 2004 and 2007, but also during that time span. But to me, I think it's a really strategic game, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, baseball's so boring."
Yeah,
it does go on for a long time. I'm not going to lie, but I just think it's really strategic, and I like the strategy in it. Depending on who you're playing, which ballpark you're in, if it's AL or NL, if there's a designated hitter or not, who that is, depends on which way you do your line. Like, it literally from even before you start playing the game all the way to the end, I just find the strategy is really like fascinating.
It's all right. Second time going. Well, pardon me. Second night of a back-to-back. we had much better seats. And it was pretty tense too, because the Rockies, I guess, were not very good and the O's were very good. So it came down to like a couple of plays of, can the Rockies hold it? Can they strike out? Can they, like hold their shit?
Right.
Like fans are like, we're all cheering and everything. And then that was pretty cool. And then I thought like, man, during the playoffs, this place would be buzzing. So I thought like, if your baseball team is really good, that would be a lot of fun to go to a playoff baseball game, especially like a deep run. Like if your team's like real deep in the playoffs, that'd be a lot of fun. So it was a fun atmosphere. Like I didn't really go to the game to watch the game. Of course, I watched some of it, but
Do you think you would
baseball's-
go to more now, or no? You're just
No.
not much baseball. Like
Yeah.
more football, more hockey and football type.
Yeah, like more hockey, and it's early September as we record this, so hockey's about a month away.
Yeah.
Hockey, yeah, I mean, I'm just you're so fast for sport. Hockey, like, there's not many set plays other than like breakout or power play. Hockey's so much just like read and react. It's just very different. So
I remember going to my very first hockey game. It was here down at the Ice Palace or whatever it's called. Who the hell knows? And we had nosebleed seats. And I'd never been to a hockey game before, but all I knew was I was really high up. And I was like, how am I going to watch this teeny tiny puck? And I knew that they were low scoring games. And I was like, oh, this does and I didn't know the rules because I was like new here, and we have like what you guys would call like field hockey. Like that's the hockey I grew up playing and stuff. And I remember it was so exciting because even though you were at the top, like literally we were back row on the last like third tier, even though we were at the top, it was so exciting. It was so fast moving, and they might not have scored often, but it was like, it reminded me a lot of football, like soccer, but on ice, just the way the game was played. And I
without the
remember,
diving.
well, I mean, they don't break out in fights every 5 minutes in soccer either. But yeah, I just remember being like, wow, this is way more exciting than I thought it was going to be. Like there's so much more happening than I realized that there would be.
Yeah,
Oh.
and like once you get closer to, you get better seats. If you ever come to Colorado again, I don't think you will, but
Oh, I've had some great seats, dude. I have been like 2 rows behind the goalie whilst the goalie's been warming.
You can hear like the chirping and all the back and forth. That's like half the fun, right? The game within the game. You see the benches yapping at each other. That's so fun to hear. It's hilarious too. But yeah, baseball is just I don't know. It's maybe like once a month I would go. I mean, that'd be cool. I wouldn't break plans to go to a baseball game. I'll just say that. It's already be free. So that was cool. Sunday, what did I do Sunday? I think I just buzzed around the bike for a bit. There's a big race in Winter Park. I didn't go because girlfriend's out of town. Next year, I'm sure doing this race. It sounds like a lot. It's a national race, so that sounds like a lot of fun. And just laid low yesterday. Saw the fam. Yeah, that was about it. So just kind of kept it a little low key. Baseball games. But by the way, beers are like $17. Like
anytime you go to a professional sports game, you're going to get slammed for food and drink.
Oh, just get blasted. Like, yeah, I just want one beer. She kind of like, yeah, it's $17, sir. All right.
You were like, no, I said one beer.
Yeah, just one. Yeah. So I got.
You definitely got funny.
Yeah. So anyway, what about you? What did you do?
So Friday night, we took one of the kids down. She went to the local theater downtown with a friend of hers. So my husband and I went out for dinner. I got some sake. Oh man, it was delicious sake too.
Sake's banging.
I got a poke bowl. And then he's like, do you want to go and get alcoholic ice cream? Which I know better because I didn't even finish my poke bowl. So why was I even thinking I was going to eat ice cream? But I was like, sure, because I'd already had a bunch of sake by that point. And I don't really drink. So there we go. So I was like, sure. And this ice cream place near our house has amazing amaretto alcoholic ice cream. I love it. But we get there and they didn't have it. But they were like, well, we do have somebody here who's over 21. So we can just do your topper of the amaretto over an ice cream. So I was like, okay, give me the smallest, like 5-ounce ice cream and put the amaretto topper on top of it. So the ice cream I got was alcoholic. I don't know what alcohol was in it, but the ice cream was like cherry or something. Then they poured the topper on it and they were like, realized that there was a shit ton of alcohol and it was like completely covering the ice cream. So then the girls like, put it in a bigger bowl and put more ice cream in it. And needless to say, I ate like 4 teaspoons full and it's still in my fridge right now. So that was Friday. And then Saturday, we briefly went out on the boat. It was very choppy out, but I bought my husband a radio for his boat for his birthday and he finally got it all installed and everything. So we had taken that out. and we were out for a little bit, not long. And then Sunday we went to a friend's house. The husband cooked ribs and barbecue and stuff like that. So we were there not for too long because the friend's wife, she was in a lot of pain with her back. And so she looked like she was not happy. She wasn't mean, not towards us. I don't mean it like that way. I just mean she looked like she was hurting. And then their young child was like getting put to bed while we were there. So I just was like, I just felt like let's eat and hang out for a little bit, but then let's kind of go home because I just didn't want to be in the way. And not that they at all made us feel that way, but between not trying to make too much noise because their child had gone to bed and then I knew she was not feeling good. So I was just like, eh. But so that was nice to hang out with them and spend some time at their house. And then yesterday, what did we do? Went to Home Depot to look at a new fan / light for my living room. And then me and one of the kids went to the fancy schmancy mall up by us and did some shopping. That was kind of it, really. Oh, and I read a ton. Sunday during the day, it was either Saturday or Sunday during the day. Now, I want to say Saturday. I don't know. One of the days I read a book, like a whole book, because we were just having I had deliberately done all my housework, all my cleaning, all my laundry on Friday so that I didn't do anything all weekend. So I think it was Saturday. I watched qualifying. And then we went on the boat and then I came home, I think maybe. I don't know. My days are all messed up and I read a whole book. And then Sunday was race day. So I watched the race. Yeah. So, And then this weekend, the apprentice who works with my husband, he is graduating from his trade college school thing. I'm not sure what it is. So we're going to go there. He's a great kid. I love him. And I just want to make sure that we support him. So we're going to go to that on Friday. And then I don't really know what else we're doing this weekend. And then we go to Savannah. So
Bam.
Yeah.
Saturday. So my nephew was texting me right before we started recording. He wants to go back to Trestle. He's like, when do you want to go ride again? And
You'll be here. Yeah, you'll be here this weekend. Right. Well, not here. But,
so I fly out Sunday morning-ish.
Okay, so you can go to Trestle then.
Yeah, so I go to Trestle on Saturday. And then I just started thinking, man, if I had taken Crash like he did, so not last week but the week before, like I would have been out for like a month. Like, I mean, he hit pretty hard, knocked the wind out. He's like, yeah, you might. We're back in the parking lot. This is 2 weeks ago. We're back in the parking lot. He's like, yeah, even my back hurts. Like I got the wind knocked out of me. I was like, holy fuck! Like, and now he's just like, yeah, like let's go up again. Let's do it again. I would have been out for at least a month if I got a crash like that.
Sometimes the best thing you can do is get back on whatever it was that frightened you, intimidated you, scared you, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
No, I mean all the time, but
yeah, I agree with that. So I'll go to Trestle again this weekend. Barring my bike looks fine. I took it to the shop over the weekend, or just before the weekend. I mean, it should be fine. The one tough thing about Trestle is it's really hard on your bike. It is really like you break your spokes, you bust your rims, your wheels explode. Yeah, I mean, because you're riding on rocks, and I mean it's pretty hard on your bike, pretty gnarly terrain. But other than that, it is a lot of fun.
No, and then we get to have a little time in Savannah. Well, you have more time in South Carolina.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Fly out Sunday, and then head to Hilton Head for the week. Savannah for that night. Do our ghost tour. We were just talking about before we were recording.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you intentionally scare me, I am going to throw. Like, I'm making this. Not only do I have witnesses in our listeners, but you are also hearing my voice. If you intentionally scare me, I will solidly throat punch you.
I didn't even think of it, but now of course I am. It's like, oh, here's a red button. Don't push this button.
Well, I'll just make sure that I'll just make sure at no point are you standing behind me, because then I can't talk.
It should be fun. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've caught up. I don't really think I have anything else exciting to tell you. So we are going to do episode 73. And today is a sort of slightly different one, kind of. We are going to be talking about dispensary SEO misconceptions. So myths, rumors, things you may have heard or things you may think. And we're here to tell you that they're not true, or maybe some of it's true, but not the whole thing. So I always say, like, people can know enough to be dangerous, right? And I think a lot of times we come into that with SEO because people say, "Oh, what do you do for a job?" And I'm like, "Oh, we do SEO." And they're like, "Oh, that's keywords, right?" But that's literally all they know, which is fine. Like, I'm not judging anybody for not knowing because you don't know what you don't know, right? And that's why you ask questions and that's why you learn. But I think that there are people who actually work in the industry who literally know enough to be dangerous, meaning they know just enough where they could get by in a surface level conversation, but in terms of like technicalities and technical SEO and kind of like the foundation that holds the things above the water, which probably are more important than anything, they don't know. So they may be lucky and they may get a few pages ranking, but like that would be a short term kind of situation. So yeah, there's a lot of people who have heard of SEO, but they don't really know what SEO is. So this is not that. This is a little bit more in depth than surface level. Just talk about things that you've probably heard about and you're not exactly sure if they're true or not. So we are here to dispel any rumors/myths.
Bam. Okay. What should we go into first?
So let's go number 1 on the list. SEO is a one-time task. What we mean by that is that you can just do, I don't know, spend a month doing some SEO and then you're just done. It just will rank by itself with the work that you put in for that month because you worked really hard on that month and you got a bunch of pages up and you did some solid keyword research and you did some on-page and off-page linking and you made sure your website was running well. And you ran an audit and fixed some small problems that you had. But that month you worked super hard and then you were done and that's all you did.
Yeah, that's not how this works. It's just not how it is. That's like going to the gym one time, working out once, and then expecting results like a month later.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I may have done that a time or two.
Yeah, I think we all have actually.
Or like,
So
how have I not lost 5 pounds?
yeah, that's not how this works at all. So it's got to be ongoing. You have to keep going to the gym. You have to keep lifting. You have to keep up with your progressive overload. If you bench 200 one week, you have to bench 210 next week, and then 225 the subsequent week, and so on and so on and so on. Progressive overload. So it's the same idea as far as constant work with SEO. You need good, relevant, trending keywords, competitor analysis. And we've literally done an episode on, for sure, what we're talking about right now, what we will talk about throughout this episode, the 3 components to SEO of content, technical, and backlinks. You need to do that month after month after month after month after month, and it has to be sustainable and, of course, good. And yeah, that's why it's not just, let's just do 1 month and see how it works.
Yep. Definitely. It is an ongoing thing. And that is why you either hire an agency to have them do it for you. So you can just kind of not worry about it, or you have somebody in-house who has the expertise and they can do it for you. So definitely not a one-time deal. Okay. Myth number 2, keyword stuffing works. So what we mean by this is, say your keyword is like dispensary near me, right? Keyword stuffing is literally taking that keyword and putting it in a piece of content as many times as you possibly can. And actually, back in the early days of SEO, way before my time, it used to be that if your page was white, you would write dispensary near me over and over and over and over again, and you would make the font white and you would hide it at like the bottom of the page. That used to work. It does not work anymore. Nobody does it anymore. But that's like the extreme end of keyword stuffing. But people are still guilty of keyword stuffing. And that's why it's important to like read through your content and stuff. But yes, keyword stuffing, putting the same keyword multiple times on your content or throughout your website.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's so obvious when you come across, you don't really see it that much on like more established websites, dispensaries. You can definitely tell when you come across one that's like an Angel Fire website, like it was built back with like not a dispensary website, but maybe like, I don't know, like an old coffee shop or something like that. It's like best coffee in Denver, and come here for the best coffee in Denver at the cheapest prices, or something like that. Like you can absolutely tell, and it sends such a bad signal to your customer base.
Yeah.
Dispensaries we've seen some that more so like last year. By the way, this latest Google algorithm update, August 2024, it's still being rolled out. Yeah, that will like get rid of that. That will decimate those sites. So yeah, don't keyword stuff. It's very obvious when you do it. It sends bad signals to your customers. And it really doesn't really do much for search engine. Just kind of makes you look almost, not necessarily needy, but just not a good look.
Desperate and not, it would make it seem as though you, either as an agency or as the person doing SEO, doesn't really have the adequate skill set to do SEO properly. Because if you could do SEO properly, you wouldn't feel the need for a keyword stuffing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a last resort kind of thing. It's just not good. Just don't do it.
We don't recommend. Okay, next. More backlinks always will equal better SEO. So a backlink is, for example, where there's another website where they have a piece of content and that content can link to your website.
Right. It's like a vote from somebody else on the internet.
Basically, yeah.
And yes, backlinks matter. Yes, local citations matter. Of course they do. It is a strong signal to Google, yes, but it doesn't always equal better SEO. And so you want quality backlinks over quantity. And there also becomes a point where, and we've seen this because you can do it, where you rank a domain so much and that thing is cranking, that domain is indexing content so fast, such a high clip, that it's just a point of diminishing returns for your backlinks, where your time spent shouldn't be spent trying to acquire backlinks, should be spent putting more content on the website to increase the number of keywords on your domain and subsequently or inherently getting more people to the website, where backlinks, they're not priority number one, they're priority number two. Priority number one is the content and keywords.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
And when that domain hits that, we call it boss mode here. Like when that domain hits boss mode, that is a beautiful thing. It's normally like, it takes some time to get to that point, but when it does, it is freaking awesome because it's like a huge jump in a huge spike in the KPIs. And like,
and then you feel like Midas, like everything that you do just poof,
yeah, like it just works. Like bam, 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 bam. Then yes, backlinks of course help, but then it becomes a game of content.
Yeah, very much. That's very true. Okay. So the three myths that we just talked about, like that relates to everybody and anybody that like does SEO, right? Those three that we talked about. I'm going to go over a couple now that I would say are specific to dispensaries. And the reason I say that obviously is because dispensaries and anybody within the cannabis industry have different rules when it comes to online. We can't advertise, for example. So that's why these are more specific to dispensaries. So the first one of those would be that if you have a strong online presence, then you don't need local SEO. So like if your website if you get a lot of customers through your website and you do some really great sales volume through your website already, maybe you've got a whole bunch of followers on every arm of social media that you have, you could maybe become cavalier in an approach to local SEO and decide, I don't really need it because I have all these followers and all of these customers.
Why would that not be the case?
Because especially in today's cannabis industry, which changes constantly, competition is so strong. Just literally in the last probably 3 months, there's one stretch of road that I take to drop the kids at school. It's just one road. I would say I may be on that road for 2 miles, maybe a bit more. 3 cannabis dispensaries, different brands have popped up. 3. And that's literally within the space of, I would say, 3, maybe 4 months in a 2-mile stretch of road. So everybody loves new and wonderful, right? So maybe they go, oh, there's a new dispensary right there. I've never shopped at that dispensary. Guarantee, because it happens every time, if you're a new customer to a dispensary, you get deals. You get certain deals like percentages off or free this, or whatever it might be as a new customer. So if you're looking to save some money, you're going to hit that one. Then when you've run out of all the deals at that dispensary, there's another one 1/4 mile up the road that you're going to go to. You know what I mean? So that's why more than anything is to get new customers and keep existing customers.
There's always going to be a bigger player.
100%.
And if you're the quote, like big fish, you've got a target on your back. And like we talked about earlier, it can't be just like a 1 month thing or like, let's just do this 4 months, turn it off, see how it works, because somebody else is going to be nipping at your heels. The market right now is too competitive. Look at Ohio, what's happening in Missouri, obviously, Michigan, like it's too competitive.
And honestly, people love new and shiny and cheaper. They just do. So, you know, and maybe you've got some very brand specific product in there. You very may well have, but there's also going to be a lot of strains and brands that are carried by multiple dispensaries.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
you know, that's why. Because you don't want to lose your customers and you want to keep building your customer base. So, yeah. Okay, next one. Cannabis content is penalized by search engines. So what we mean by that is that if you, because obviously we know you can't advertise, right? Google and search engines, but what you can do is work really hard and have a great SEO campaign to rise to the top of the rankings. The myth is that regardless of this, that your content is going to get penalized by the search engines anyway.
No, that's not going to happen. Like if you're, like you said, you're running like Google ads for the most part, Google ads or like Facebook ads or something like that. Yeah, like you'll get kicked in the teeth. But no, as long as your content complies with state guidelines and it's quality content, of course it's it's legal, like you said, within the guardrails, you'll be fine.
Just stay compliant. That's literally the best advice.
Just stay compliant.
Okay, next up. You are a small dispensary. Maybe you've got a couple locations and you cannot compete with big brands on SEO.
You know what? We see like big brands. Well, we see it like literally every day. Their SEO most of the time isn't that dialed in. Like it's good, but it's not like fantastic SEO. And so you can reverse engineer what they're doing in your local markets with local citations, local content, what's the website structure, the hierarchy, all of that. And sometimes you can just steal their customer base or steal their website traffic. And it takes time, of course, like everything else, like you're saying, Hiller, build your customer base, get your branded searches online, build your arms outside of your branding arms outside of the website. So like Instagram and mail billboards, all of that will supplement your SEO efforts, your branded efforts. And over time, you can start to compete with those big players. So yeah, it's entirely possible.
Yeah, I would agree with you because I think oftentimes, like we were talking about in the previous point, there can be some really big players in the game who get complacent because they're a well-known brand. And so they don't feel like they need to put in the work on SEO because why would they? You know what I mean? I've got 7 locations in a 7-mile radius. I don't, versus the little guy like David and Goliath, right? The little guy be like, man, I got to work my ass off to get where I need to be. And they'll put in the work. And before you know it, they'll be outranking the big guy. So
we've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. I got another couple that aren't on the list. That it's not going to throw you off because I know that you already know the answer to this. But I do think this one I think is important. And the reason I say this is because I genuinely think that people forget this. But the myth is that meta tags don't matter.
Oh, no, 100%. So on Saturday, I saw that. I can't pull it up now because when we're recording, and maybe we'll make a LinkedIn or a YouTube video about this. No, but title tags, you said title tags, right?
Tags. We can include them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So those absolutely matter. One, for click-through rate from SERP.
Yeah.
So that if somebody knows, like, I don't know, here's content about moon rocks. Like if somebody searches for moon rocks, like what is it? Where, like Missouri, Michigan, wherever you are, that page pops up. You want somebody to click on your page, so you have to optimize your title tag. So yeah, so this case study was, I can't remember the name of the agency, but they changed their title tags to just be like filler from like a Yoast plugin or like a, I don't know, AIO plugin or something like that, just like a generic SEO plugin. And their ranks dropped on those respective pages where they changed, they dropped 20% over 30 days. So yes, they absolutely matter. You need your keyword in there. You're not keyword stuff, but title tags absolutely matter.
Yeah. And I do genuinely think it's one of the things that people don't necessarily put as much importance on as they should. But that's why I brought that one up. Okay. And this one, it's 2 separate points, but I'm putting them together because I think they kind of go together, right? So basically, longer content equals better rankings, and adding more website pages is beneficial. When I say no, right? Because basically more words, right, or more pages if they're filled with shit, it's actually probably going to hurt you more than it's going to help you, right? If your content's not relevant, or you've just thrown a bunch of words on a page, or your pages aren't thought out, or they're not siloed, or there's nothing valuable in your content for your readers to take notice of whilst they're reading, it actually in the long run could potentially end up hurting you.
Yeah, and with this latest algorithm update, this core algorithm update, and well, more specifically, the one earlier this year, the helpful content, those pages will get nuked. So if you've got just a bunch of shit on your page, just like trying to fill up paragraphs and a bunch of filler H2s and a bunch of AI content, like all that shit, yeah, those pages will get blasted. Like no question.
Yeah, that's kind of why I put them together, because I think they pretty much kind of go hand in hand, just throwing up pages. But that's pretty much it. Those are all the myths that I had a note of, really, that I think to those people who've been in doing SEO for a long time are probably like, "Ugh, they're so obvious," but they're not, because you don't know what you don't know. Or maybe you're just starting out SEO for your dispensary and you're a one location dispensary and you feel overwhelmed because right down the street is one of the big guns and you're like, I'm never going to be able to compete with them. Very likely that you can, which I think is one of the great things about SEO, is that you very likely can. It's not a lost cause before you've even started. So
This takes time. Takes time and a plan. You need a plan, and it does take some time.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Can't just throw spaghetti at a wall and
No, why isn't this working? Oh, like I did curls on Tuesday and 3 calf raises on Wednesday. Like, why am I not losing weight? That's not how that works.
I mean, I wish it was.
Yeah, so did I. Then I could just eat Chick-fil-A and Chipotle, and yeah, it'd be fucking awesome. That's not how that works, fam.
Chick-fil-A is like legit.
Chick-fil-A is fire. It's life. Their fries are banging.
Yeah, I think that Wendy's used to have the best fries. Used to. But then they changed them and now they don't. And I do think if they are hot, like piping hot and very salty, I still think McDonald's wins the battle of the fries.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think what puts Chick-fil-A's fries over the edge is their sauce.
Yep. Sauce is good. I have not had McDonald's. I don't think I've had McDonald's sober in like years.
I couldn't tell you the last time I ate McDonald's. Like, I don't eat fast food, so I couldn't tell you the last time I did. When was the last fast food I ate?
Chick-fil-A.
Honestly, no. Actually, it probably was over the summer with my kid, because I can get like a 20-piece nugget thing and I'll eat like 4 or 5 pieces and she will eat the rest. So it probably was Chick-fil-A. But like if I'm out and about by myself, I won't eat fast food. But I do, and I genuinely think that McDonald's, like nobody can beat a McDonald's fry if it's fresh, hot, and salty. I know. And now I've started a whole thing, right? Because everyone's going to have an opinion. I don't disagree that Chick-fil-A has phenomenal fries, though.
I think their fries are the best. Well, I'm not sure what I can benchmark that. I haven't had Wendy's in forever. I haven't had McDonald's in I don't know how long. Probably since we worked in the magazine, and Long Boy would go there. Just bring back like a barrel of fries. He'd bring back a drum of fries.
Yeah, I
and
don't
they
think
were actually really good.
eating fast food anymore. Have you seen him lately?
Long Boy, no, he's like bulking up, isn't he? Good for him.
It's looking. He's always been a very handsome, tall, trim type of man, but he is, looking good these days. So I'm not sure he's eating any
Good for him.
chicken and rice or I don't know.
Little rascal.
Yeah. So I have thought about what's vexing me. So I took my car in to get an oil change, which ordinarily I do it at my dealer, but my dealer will only do it I got a certain number of free oil changes when I bought my car, right? But the dealer will only do it if my oil is at 15% or lower. Okay. So this story is going somewhere. So I knew I was going to be driving up to Georgia next week and it was going to hit 15% around that time. So knowing me, it would be when I'm on my way. And I just wanted to know my oil was good, my tires had been rotated, and my car was good before I drove, right? Never did. So I made an appointment at like Pet Boys to take it in there to have them do it and just pay for them to do it. Because then I knew it would be done before my trip. So my husband, I'm going to read you a text message. And my husband goes, "How goes it?" To which I respond, well, the guy next to me thinks it's socially acceptable to listen to a podcast on his phone speaker while it's in his breast pocket. And the two ladies opposite me are talking in what I can only describe as outside voices. And despite having brought my Kindle, I can't focus because of the cacophony of annoying noises. It's fun. So what's
I like
vexing?
that podcast move. Was it our podcast?
No, I think it may have been a political podcast, which not talking about one side, the other side, or the middle. I just don't feel like you should. First of all, you shouldn't be listening to anything on a speakerphone with your phone in the breast pocket when you're in a public place. It wasn't like he's wandering around Walmart or something, which would have been annoying. He was literally sitting. There were 3 chairs. I was in the right chair, the middle was empty, and he was in the left chair. And there was a television on in the waiting room. So why did we feel this need? Secondly of all, like politics, religion, that kind of stuff is so polarizing that I just don't feel like that's an acceptable situation either. So yeah, so what's vexing me is people who have conversations or watch things on their phone or listen to things on their phone on speakerphone in public.
So I was at the gym this morning and I was in there like the Lifetime Business Center. So it's like a conference room with no doors, and people that work remotely can check emails, whatever, down to your laptop. I've literally been there, and people will take Zoom calls. Like I've heard like salespeople like pitch over that. There'll be like 6 people in there, and they'll just do it on like no headphones. They'll just 2-way audio, and they'll just do their thing. And I mean, it's pretty annoying. It vexes me. I know I wear headphones, so sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, it's just stupid, I think.
It's rude. It's inconsiderate. Like, what makes you think that you're so important that everyone wants to listen to either your phone call or what you're listening to on your phone? Like, you have no decency and respect for everybody else around you.
Yeah, it's pretty irritating.
Yeah. So
if I wasn't wearing my headphones.
Well, the thing is, I didn't take my headphones because I took my Kindle because I just assumed people would be. This is my fault. This is why I don't go out in public. This is why I don't go around people, because I think everyone's going to have the same common decency and respect that I'm going to have. And you know what? They don't. And that's why I told my husband, I go, this is why I don't go around people, because they just don't. And then I get annoyed because I'm trying to hold them to a standard that maybe it's not fair of me to hold someone else to a standard that I adhere to. But like, I also think, at what point does common sense come into play?
Not that common, or that saying.
Not. So that was my whole experience last week. I think it was Wednesday I went and did that. But at least now my oil's been changed, my tires have been rotated, my car's been checked over, so my drive will be fine.
Damn.
But yeah, I feel better knowing that it's been checked out. And then obviously I'll share my location with you on my drive up there so that, because
cool.
it doesn't have an iPhone. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that sounds cool. Sounds good.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all I got for what's vexing me, which means that we're at the end of episode 73 of the High Rankings podcast. I'm not sure if I'm sure we're doing one next week. Somehow, some way we'll fit one in. If not, you might not even notice that we haven't done one next week because we're that good. But anyway,
we've done 73. We can figure out 74.
I'm sure we can. We could do one live from Savannah. Oh no, we can't because I'll be there Thursday. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're just live. Yes, we will be finally seeing each other again after 3 years or something. So I'm very excited about that. So we'll be together next week, and then we will have another episode 74 coming at you very, very soon. In the meantime, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, you know where to find us, you know where to listen. We like reviews, we like you to subscribe, and thumbs up.
Peace.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the High Rankings podcast, brought to you by Dispensary-Growth, the preeminent SEO agency for dispensaries. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you found value in the insight and the tips we shared. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're feeling super generous, we would love it if you left us a review. If there's a specific topic you'd like us to cover in a future episode, or if you have any questions, you can go ahead and find us on LinkedIn or YouTube. We'll see you next time.